I find it necessary to floss my teeth every day, and it actually doesn't matter where I do it as long as I get it done.
He did the one thing Randy feared most.
On April 22nd, 2008, 39-year-old Stephan Miller arrived on set ready to film a TV commercial alongside a 5-year-old grizzly bear named Rocky. And to Rocky, this was just another day of his life. He was used to the cameras, and he even appeared in Will Ferrell's movie Semi-Pro as Dewey the Killer Bear. And guys, the commercial's concept involved a stage wrestling match between Stephan and Rocky. As a trained bear actor, Rocky has spent years learning how to safely wrestle humans for entertainment. And guys, the plan was simple. Start with shots of Stephan and Rocky casually standing together before transitioning into the choreographed wrestling scene. But on that fateful day, something went terribly wrong. As the cameras rolled during the initial setup, Rocky unexpectedly stood up in his wrestling posture. Before anyone could react, the 700-pound Grizzly began attacking Stephan. He clamped his powerful jaws around Stephan's neck, pinning him to the ground. And guys, when Stephan was pinned to the ground, he let out this really loud scream. Crew members then rushed to his aid, desperate to save him. His cousin Randy Miller, a fellow trainer and experienced animal handler, grabbed a cane and struck Rocky several times, trying to break Rocky's focus, but Rocky wouldn't let go and he wouldn't stop attacking. It wasn't...
That's a little bit strange. So if this animal gained trust with his trainer and then suddenly attacks him, I mean, yeah, I understand animals are animals, but there's got to be a reason why he did it. I mean, there had to have been at least one point where Rocky felt like his trainer did something bad to him. Or he could just sense that he's a bad person.
To a crew member sprayed Rocky with pepper spray that he finally let go. And when the attack stopped, Stephan got up and he stumbled out of the camera's frame. Guys, he died just a couple minutes later from his injuries.
Na may cross na kahoy, sinukuan. Sinukuan ang tawagan natin.
Huh. I've never seen this before.
Mars and Earth were almost identical 70 million years ago.
Stop it. Stop it. How do you know what was going on 70 million years ago? Can you explain that to me? How do you know that Mars and Earth were the same 70 million years ago?
But Mars went through a huge catastrophe 69 million years ago, and even went through another war 1 million years ago. The ruins on Mars and all that, some of them are 65, 70.
People can't even solve murder cases from 30 years ago. So how is this even... Just, okay, all right, I'll play it.
80, 100 million years old. The face and all that is at least 1 million years old. Now, according to the Andromedas, the face belongs to a group of Orions. That complex was built by Orions. The pyramids were built by Orions. Now, I understand that there's all kinds of coding and geometrics that go with the pyramids, but according to the Andromedas, and this is something they've done in the past, and many other races do, when they find a planet that they want to inhabit or colonize, and its wobble is so irregular that they can't build anything on it because they don't know 1,000 years to the next whether or not it's going to be destroyed. What they will do to balance the rotation, the orbit of the planet, is put weights on it, like we do with our car tire. These weights are the pyramids. They put them at strategic locations to balance the rotation. This is why the Great Pyramid of Giza is located exactly dead center of all the Earth mass on the planet. It's a weight. That's what it was originally designed to be, was a weight to balance our rotation. So they would have some semblance of order here.
I'm pretty
skeptical. They wouldn't have to worry about it flipping around and orbiting and pole shifting whenever it wanted to. Or wobbling so much like this, you know, that the oceans would just change.
Yeah, I'll believe that.
Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Pyramids on Earth are located in the same part of the hemisphere as the pyramids on Mars.
Yes. Yes, it is. But there are more pyramids on the Earth.
Wait a minute. there's pyramids on Mars? I didn't know that. Interesting.
There are Mars. There are a lot in the ocean. You know, Central America.
Right.
We have a lot. Of course, it's, you know, almost 1.5 times the landmass as well. Plus, we have water, which in itself is an incredible amount of weight. I think we have 1.2 trillion square miles of water on the planet, which is phenomenal. You know, absolutely phenomenal. It's 2/3 of the earth, and less than 1% is drinkable. Another question. Somebody else? Yes, sir.
Can you give us some of your background and how you came into all this information?
Exactly.
Yes. I guess it's time for that.
Right.
My
Credentials.
contact started when I was 8 years old. I was on a family picnic in Woodstock, Michigan, which is in the upper northern peninsula. I did not remember the contact until I was at the age of 14. I knew, and my parents knew, that something had happened in the other folks.
Okay.
We went out to play hide and go seek, and the grass was very tall. It was in August. It was like the second or third week of August, just before we all went back to school. And I went to lay down in the tall grass and just...
Excuse me. Wait a minute. So he just said that he doesn't remember the contact until he was 14, but he can describe the exact details, even to the height of the grass, even to the second or third week of the month.
to hide. Okay, because we have one of our little cousins, she was a female, you know, we made her red, so she had to go around and find us. And I remember picking up the chestnuts and throwing them because they were chestnuts. And I made a place for me to lay down. Well, I fell asleep. When I woke up, it was night. It was close to 9 o'clock. Now in August, you know, the sun sets late. So I got up and I walked back. I'm approximately 250, maybe 300 yards from the picnic area. There was a
Pretty
police car there,
precise.
a dog in the back, or a state police, I think it was, state trooper, because the guy had a big round hat with the funny thing on the top. When I got back, at first they were all glad to see me, and then my mother walloped me. She gave me a spanking. Where have you been? I said, well, I was over there. No, you weren't. We were all looking for you. So I took them back with flashlights to where I was, and sure enough, there was my imprint in the grass, and they swore up and down that they had been all through there, and I wasn't there. It wasn't until age 14 that I realized what had happened. And I was asleep. We were living in Elk Grove Village, Illinois. And I was asleep, and I woke up, and I'm lying on a table, flat on my back, and I'm looking up at this light. And there's a very tall, big guy standing next to me, and a short, tiny one. The tiny one had white skin, bald head, looked sort of oriental, but he wasn't, just very old. And the other guy, the big tall one, was light blue skinned, no hair, but built like a Greek god, like this. I had instantaneous recognition of those two guys, two men. The tall one is Morine. He's 2,300 years old in our time. He's from Andromeda. The short...
How does he know that he's 2,300 years old? He asked him.
one was Visayas. Now they don't use names like we use names, but those are names
No.
that they gave me
Stop
so that
it.
I could call them to accommodate me. That's how I relate to them. They use symbols. Visayas is 4,300 years old. Actually, he's older, but that's his approximate age. They're incredible. They're absolutely incredible. They're human beings just like us. They evolved. They were part of the Lyran lineage of the human race. And Lyra itself was destroyed in a war. And everybody just scattered and migrated out to survive. And according to them, and this is probably a good time I want to add this before I forget, they say, the Andromedans, based on stories that the ancient Draconians have recorded, that the human race was created by another race called the Batal.
That's horrible. So I had a lot of negative feedback in one of my previous videos because somebody was talking about this but describing it and not actually giving visuals about it. So I had absolutely no idea what this person was talking about, but apparently this is the aftermath of a hurricane, and nobody, not even the government, is helping. Actually, I think it's Asheville, North Carolina. So I think this is pretty sad, you guys. And yeah, oof.
So you think of
When are they gonna clean that up? I mean, how long is it gonna take? It doesn't look so bad, but still, if there's people there. Why didn't they announce like an evacuation, a mandatory evacuation? Especially if it doesn't happen in that area usually. I mean,
just horrible. It looks like Ukraine or something.
how do you know what Ukraine looks like?
But the remote control program that gives you graphical control of the machine, turn the resolution right down, turn it down to I think 4-bit color. And then on the desktop of the NAS machine, navigate to the folder, double click on the first image. The application launches, the image comes up on the screen, but it's still very, very slow. And what I saw, I was hoping to see exactly what she was describing, you know, sources and very definite imagery. And what instead I saw was, I assume it was the Earth. This was in sort of shades of grey, but you had the Earth's hemisphere, doing about 2/3 of the screen. And then halfway between the top of the hemisphere and the bottom of the picture, there was a classic sort of cigar-shaped object, but with, you know, the sort of golf ball domes, geodesic domes, above, below, and this side, and I assume the other side as well, so to the left and right as well. And with very slightly flattened cigar ends. No seams, no rivets, no sort of telemetry or antennae or anything like that.
Appreciate you. You're welcome, sir. Alright. Hey, I just want to say thanks for the smooth flight. Alright. I have one question. Is there like a specific angle of downward tilt you have to fly at? 3 degrees. 3 degrees for the curvature of the Earth?
Oh, for the Earth?
Because, yeah.
No, we just fly over the troposphere.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you have to keep like kind of going down because...
No, we actually have to nose up. It flies like that.
Really? Because I was reading some stuff on the flat Earth that made a lot of sense. Have you looked into it?
Which one? Sorry?
I was reading a lot of stuff on the flat Earth.
Okay, yeah. True.
That's true?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Alright, cool.
All
Hey,
right.
God bless, brother.
Alright, have a good one.
You too.
28,000. From the top of the altitude, from the time we hit the runway, it takes about 3 miles per 1,000 feet that we have to. Okay. Like, if you're landing east, and then if you're landing west, right, would you have to like slow down or speed up due to Earth's motion? No. No? Nope. So Earth's motion has nothing to do with it. So we don't compensate for the curvature whenever we're landing. We don't do anything. And then we don't do anything when it comes to the motion of Earth. Curvature is... So Earth has to be a level stationary thing, right?
What?
Fairly. In relative to us, yes. Okay, cool. But I noticed, like, not until, like, the descent when you were going down or whatever, did you kind of tilt the nose, right? Yeah, exactly. So you normally, typically, you just fly flat? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're going straight up the whole time before we start down. So at that speed, how come you're not having to, like, adjust for the curvature of the Earth? Could it be possibly flat?
He doesn't want to answer.
Thanks, man. Captain, someone wants to say hi, is that okay? Oh. Do you adjust for curvature when you get up to a certain altitude?
Yeah, when you see the sun coming up on the horizon,
but the plane stays at an even pitch throughout the whole flight.
Yeah.
So I mean,
how is this
not
possible?
Too much curvature to count for.
No.
More flat than anything.
No, you close your eyes, you won't have a clue.
True. More flat than anything?
What was that?
It's more flat than anything.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Flat or a bowl? Flat.
What's it called? I think it's flat.
Yeah, me too.
Pretty flat to me.
Curvature.
Curvature?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't allow for curvature, do we?
Yeah. For anything, not here usually.
No, we're
What do you guys
round.
think?
We're a disc, aren't we? Round and flat.
Yeah.
I kind of believe it also.
Honestly?
I think it's flat.
Quite seriously?
Yeah.
We are, aren't we?
Yeah. What's up, pilot? Is the Earth flat or round?
Flat.
What is going on?
Oh.
Oh no. What do you, what? Oof.
Alright.
I know that hurts.
Today I am grocery shopping in what is called the most dangerous market in all of the Caribbean or Latin America.
Because that's what you should do for fun.
This is Coronation Market in Kingston, Jamaica, and the reason it is considered so dangerous is because it is pretty much like right in the middle of Tivoli Gardens, which is just a super dangerous area. I'm kind of like hiding in the back right now. It's just me. I'm just filming me. Oh, someone's coming to yell at me. I'm just taking a video of me. See? It should. It's a video of me. See? It's filming me. It's just filming me. Okay. I just got yelled at. They really don't like it if you film here. But it's interesting because like in all of Jamaica, they don't really like it if you film. But then if I show them like, oh, the camera's just facing me, then it's okay. So hasn't been so easy to film here.
I wonder why.
But yeah, today I am in, I'm trying to shoot a vlog grocery shopping at this market.
This is the disturbing moment a hospital worker is caught flossing her teeth while standing over a patient.
What is going
In
on
unsettling
with her?
footage captured by Joe Bainbridge at Ottawa Regional Health Center, the worker casually begins flossing her teeth, seemingly ignoring the patient trying to get her attention.
Poor him. This is how people die. What in the world?
The hospital condemned the incident in a statement. As soon as this unacceptable behavior was flagged for us early last week, we addressed it, immediately suspending and then terminating the staff member's employment. This one incident is not a reflection of the dedication of our team or the great care we provide our community each day.
Who was recording this? I mean, she's just doing this and somebody's recording.
So the Pentagon and other parts of the government are finally starting to come out and talk about this whole drone UAP UFO incursions that are happening in New Jersey specifically, but all across the country and the world. they came out yesterday, the spokesperson for the Pentagon, and did a presser, which raised a lot more questions than it did answer. And the guy said a bunch of things that I thought were pretty odd. So one of them, he said basically they're devising a plan. It's like, really? You're the Pentagon. Like, don't y'all game plan and run, simulations for basically every scenario you can imagine? But all of a sudden, these drone incursions are something that y'all never planned for? You don't have any sort of anything, like, ready to go? Like, they're caught flat-footed. They're, like, starting to devise a plan now. It's like, this has been going on for months. This is crazy. But he said one of the parts of their plan was that they're going to consult with subject matter experts. And the way he said it was really bizarre, because you're the Pentagon, right? They have hundreds of thousands of employees, and they have like specialists in nearly every field imaginable. But he said they're going to consult with subject matter experts. That makes me think they're going to start talking to like the me's of the world, right? Like not me specifically, but like people that are civilians, meaning like people that are, experts in consciousness and spirituality, maybe even UAP and UFO experiencers and that kind of stuff, to shine some light on what's happening, because I think they're tapped out. I don't think they and their specialists can really wrap their heads around exactly what they're experiencing and dealing with here. So they're going to start pulling in subject matter experts. And then separately, Nancy Mace, one of our congresswomen, she's good. She was in a skiff today, a closed door, classified meeting, and said that one of the things that Arrow was telling her was that there's certain...
How can he talk about a classified meeting that was done in a skiff? How does he have this information, first of all?
Shapes that they've identified that are recurring that they can't explain. So basically, Arrow is who surveys all of the different UAP and UFO encounters and sightings, that kind of stuff, and catalogs everything and investigates it. And they said that there's a lot of shapes that they have cataloged. They've investigated all of them, and most of them, there's an explanation behind. But there's certain shapes. She kept saying certain shapes. She said that this is all classified, but so she can't tell us, which is whatever. But that there are certain shapes that she can't tell us what the shapes are, but that they're very concerned about, because these shapes are recurring, meaning they keep having experiences and encounters and sightings of these specific shapes, that through all of their rigorous investigation and high-level imagery and analytics and everything, they cannot figure out what these are. They're completely unexplained, and evidently it's recurring, and evidently it's part of this whole drone thing that's going on now. So there's a big part of this that's unexplained. The highest levels of the government, Pentagon, classified, meetings are happening around the clock.
You know what I think? I think that they know what these things are. Okay, of course they know, especially if they have SMEs on them. They're not going to tell the public that they don't know something so panic can set in. That's not going to happen. I mean, obviously a lot of people are not really paying attention to it, or they don't care, or they're numb, or just, it's not phasing them. But yeah, I think I'm 99% sure they're not going to tell the public that they don't know what this is and they don't know what to do about it.
People getting together and trying to figure out what the heck is going on. So for everyone out there that just tells you this is a drone or this is a plane, it's not. Or you can just look at the behavior of the government. They're perplexed. They don't really know what to do. I think that's concerning and interesting. Let me know what you think. Have a beautiful day. Peace.
Secret spice mix.
Well, that's a big secret.
Here, giant barrels of tomato paste are blended with a secret spice mix.
Well, that's a big secret. In fact, I'm not even allowed to know right now, because so few people know the true secret of the Heinz formula.
Vinegar is added, then the ketchup is packed into tiny packets and big bottles. Believe it or not, when you smother fries with ketchup, you're actually getting 2 servings of vegetables, so it's sort of like double dipping.
And sugar.
In Holland, fries are eaten with mayo, and in England, it's vinegar. But in America, our favorite dunking sauce remains ketchup. Americans consume almost 3 bottles of the red stuff per person every year. The Heinz factory in Ohio is the world's largest ketchup plant. Another version of the French fry is the famous curly fry. These twisty treats became popular in the 1950s as a fairground favorite.
Did y'all hear about this story? Allegedly, this woman went into Walmart and tried to shoplift a tree, 7.5-foot tree,
by
hiding it in her
This
She
cannot
took it
be
into the
real.
bathroom, tried to conceal it, and
Girl.
customers came in, found her, reported it. She had to have 375 stitches. She had tons of lacerations. It says lost more than 2 liters of blood. Like,
what?
Do we need Christmas trees that bad? I'm just...
Stop it.
I don't even have words.
This
Every
is not
flabber
real.
I have is gasted.
This story is about a man who predicted his own death. I am back with another spooky story. And this one is a submission from Haiti. The person who submitted the story said, "This is a creepy story that happened to me in Haiti back in 2008. It's about one of my dad's childhood friends. His name, for the privacy of the story, let's call him Kevin. We're gonna call the person who submitted the story itself Alex. So Kevin grew up with Alex's dad, but after moving somewhere in Asia, he got mixed up with the wrong crowd. He was arrested and spent 18 years in prison. In 2008, he was released and returned to Haiti. He reconnected with Alex's dad, and he would visit them pretty often. The family always welcomed Kevin with open arms. Alex describes Kevin to be funny, intelligent, and extremely flirtatious with the ladies. Understandable after being locked up for so long. But Alex also notes that something about him was very strange. He would often zone out or stare blankly, almost as if his spirit wasn't there. Many times, Alex would catch him sitting there and staring at a wall, mouth half open, completely unaware of his surroundings. So one Wednesday night, after coming home from a church prayer service with his mom, Alex found Kevin sitting on the balcony, again doing the infamous blank stare. But this time, though, he turned and looked directly at Alex. So Alex asked, "Are you okay?" After a few seconds, he seemed to come back to himself and replied, "I get these visions sometimes and they're really hard to understand." So Alex asked, "Is that why you zone out sometimes?" He nodded, "Yeah." And then he went on to say, Kevin goes on to tell Alex, "Right now, I see you playing the piano, and the number 7 is on your head." Intrigued, Alex pressed further. "What does that mean?" Kevin says, "I don't know." He paused, then continued, "Sometimes these visions get really scary. Right before you came home from church tonight, I saw myself in a green room. This is important. I heard a loud train and went to the window to see what was happening. Then everything went dark." So Alex is like, that's weird, trying to brush it off because he was more focused on what he had said about him, about the piano, the number 7 on his head. So he's thinking, oh shit, in 7 years, I'm gonna become a great pianist. This has to be what that means. So Alex goes and begs his parents for a piano. But as it turned out, Alex was wrong. Fast forward 2 years later, January 12th, 2010. Alex had gotten home from school, getting ready to watch his favorite telenovela. He grabbed his piano, placed it on his lap, and started playing while the TV was on in the background. When suddenly, he noticed that the TV shaking back and forth. Then the plates, then the windows started trembling. He panicked and ran outside, and he just kept running. This was Alex's first time experiencing an earthquake, and he had no idea how long it would last. Thankfully, they were in Lekki, IT, where there wasn't much damage. Alex describes it to feeling like being on a boat during rough seas. Later that night, Alex's family heard news about Port-au-Prince. They had lost contact with majority of their family members living there. Alex said that felt like the longest night of his life. The next day, his dad decided to drive to the capital to help bring some people back to safety. When Alex's father returned, he had devastating news. They had lost 2 family members and a family friend. Kevin was the family friend who passed away. His dad told him what happened. This is heartbreaking. Kevin had been talking with his friend in his room when they heard a weird sound before the earthquake, which is why Haitians call earthquake gudu gudu. Kevin, hearing the noise, Kevin is wondering, are those bulldozers working in the neighborhood? He then walked to his window to look outside. His friend that he was talking to, however, panicked and ran out the door. But as the friend fled, Kevin's room collapsed. Kevin did not make it. And as Alex's dad is explaining this, he suddenly remembered the vision that Kevin had told him about 2 years earlier. Remember how he heard a train? He went to his window and everything went dark. And that's when Alex realized Kevin had predicted his own death. Alex says till this day this memory remains. He will never forget that night. But anyways, he's still trying to figure out what the piano and the number 7 stuff means because he sucks at playing the piano. Wow, this was heartbreaking. Thank you for submitting this story. You know who you are. This story left me absolutely speechless. If you're not already, please be sure to follow me on YouTube for longer, better, spookier stories, for more dark and mysterious content. And of course, make sure you follow me on Instagram just so that I know that it's real. Duh. Gonna get to 10K, y'all, and we don't know what's gonna happen to this app, so y'all better go follow me on my other platforms.
Girl, you have the YouTube now.
The spooky stories is not gonna stop. Anyway, I love you, my abducted humans, from your favorite Haitian homegirl.
इसे वहम च न रवि मेरा पुत्तर असी गेम पावांगे जरूर ते तकड़ा हो जावी असी मैदान में आवांगे जरूर
Okay. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, please let me know in the comments below, and I will see you in the next one.